Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your Hammers Headlines in association with our good friends over at Knees Up Mother Brown, KUMB.com, a fantastic forum of West Ham fans all over the world having good banter. Get yourself across there, check them out as much as you possibly can. As you join me for today's Hammers Headlines, we are the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, and I'm going to bring to you some of the stories today regarding West Ham. Again, it's another night and another day of information coming to you overload. So let's get started on the first story for today, and that is all about this man, Kretinsky. The Times have made a huge, exciting bit of information overnight about a potential West Ham takeover and stadium purchase, which could change the dynamics of West Ham moving forward. Now, there has been loads of speculation surrounding West Ham and a takeover and the future of the London Stadium as of late, but fans are hoping that this changes could come to fruition sooner rather than later. Fans remain unhappy with both the ownership situation and the situation about West Ham being tenants of the London Stadium. But one thing that we are sure about is that we have a big bit of potential at this club. And for someone maybe that had a little bit of ambition, maybe could take our club a bit further forward than what we are right now, or a lot further forward than what we are right now. Now, 7 years after moving to the stadium at Stratford, the stadium becomes a real issue, really, for many fans. Some enjoy it, some don't. People remain unhappy with the aspects of the stadium since we moved there back in 2016. I suppose the major grievance really has been about the distance from the stands to the pitch, huge gaps between the upper and lower tiers, and the fact that West Ham do not own the ground. And the latter means that West Ham will have a little say in big key decisions, such as the LLDC installing a ridiculously, you could say, atmosphere-killing wall between the home and away fans this season. And the only way West Ham can go ahead and fix these issues is by one day owning the ground and redeveloping it into a proper football arena. Now, I'm not sure if any of you saw, but somebody this week used artificial intelligence and got some architect pictures done of what the stadium could look like. Now, I get there's a lot more into it, but we do know that the stadium could change if it's in the right hands. And someone else could come in and take charge of the situation. Now, the Czech billionaire Daniel Kretinsky has been reportedly linked with an eventual full-blown takeover for West Ham, and speculation has abounded in a lot of recent months about his takeover of the club. Now, he became West Ham's second biggest shareholder behind David Sullivan when he purchased 27% of the club back in November 2021, and there's been speculation for some time that Sullivan and the Gold family might sell their stakes in West Ham, particularly now that the embarrassing clause in the club's anchor tenancy deal with the LLDC has officially expired. Vladimir Sufal speaking out last week, dropping hints that potentially Krinsky could be eventually taken over as a majority shareholder. But the Times have now made this claim, and according to their chief sports reporter, Kretinsky could complete a full takeover of West Ham and buy the London Stadium outright. It's understood that West Ham have made clear that nothing is off the table in terms of making the stadium work, he told the news report as well. He says those close to Daniel Kretinsky, the Czech billionaire who became one of the shareholders in the club in 2021 and who may complete a full takeover, said he'd be open to a deal for the stadium. An agreement to sell the stadium to West Ham would almost certainly have to include compensation payment to the UK Athletics. But the report also quotes the LLDC chief, Lynn Garner, admitting the stadium will always be a huge burden on the taxpayer under the ownership, even if they secure the naming rights deal. And yesterday it was revealed, as Russ said, that you never know, Chelsea could be and considering making a deal with the LLDC over a 4-year ground share at the London Stadium. But all we do know is something needs to change soon. And it could be that, yes, Kretinsky could be finally making a full-blown takeover for West Ham. But who knows? Put your comments in the comment section and let me know your thoughts as well. As I move on to the next story, and the next story is, can the West Ham under-18s win the league tonight? Yes, we can. Fulham, if they drop any points whatsoever in their game tonight, West Ham under-18s have clinched the youth under-18s deal. Now, we have been speaking to someone within the club and they do want to win it on the park. It was such a great feat to be able to go ahead and win this league. Huge achievement for those players, those young players who are capable of turning up on the day and doing a job, and some recently been sniffing in and around the first team squad as well. So it's a huge feat for us. On top of that, they've got the semi-final of the FA Cup Youth Cup as well. So that's coming up against Liverpool. Get yourselves there if you can afford to go. Get yourselves there to the Youth Cup semi-final for the under-18s and go and support the team as well. So that's what we need you to do. Turn up and get the job done. Sorry, the game is, I believe, against Southampton at the London Stadium, which is going to be on the 6th of April. But West Ham will want to go ahead and win the league as quickly as they possibly can within reason. You'd rather do it on the park, but tonight, if Fulham drop any points whatsoever, a draw or a loss means it's handed the cup, the league, to West Ham, or West Ham turn up on Saturday and do the job themselves on the park, which probably would be the most ideal situation. But we could win it tonight. But what an absolutely fantastic achievement from these young lads. Absolutely delighted for them. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the future is bright. The future is claret and blue. That is the end of your Hammers headlines for today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Short and sweet, but it's straight to the point. Is there going to be a takeover of West Ham over the coming months? Well, I think there's going to be big transitions made between players leaving the club, players coming in, manager potentially leaving the club, ownership changes, you name it. Huge transitions coming in. Will we purchase the stadium off the hands of the LLDC, save the taxpayer money, and take control of our own assets? That would be a positive move in the right direction. And will the young lads win the league? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, everyone. And of course, come on, you Irons.